Hi, guys, and welcome to La Lucha is Real podcast. I am your host, Angel.
And I'm Edith.
And welcome to March. We're like,
wow.
we're like well into March, and I'm like, welcome to March.
Welcome, Shadi.
Well, it's
we didn't
because
have an episode last week.
Yeah, that's why I was like, well, it's because we didn't have that episode. So, oopsie.
Sorry, guys. we bought the drop there. I was gonna say we dropped the ball there.
As you can tell, we're like not fucking thinking straight.
When are we though?
Lately, not very much.
I don't think so. Pero ¿cómo han estado, amigos? We missed
It
you.
is officially Edith's birthday month.
Exactly. We celebrate Edith's birthday every single day. So today we're drinking wine.
Yeah, so today we're drinking
Or grape juice.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel to be just a teeny bit older?
I'm excited and a little bit like, oh my God, it's like the last year of being 29. Even though like how birthdays work, you're already like in the year. Like once I turn 29, I'm working in the year of 30. But
Yeah,
you know it.
But girl math, we're not.
Yeah. We're not thinking about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's kind of like, oh man, like I don't know. I feel like change is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Good change, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait. I can't wait.
I'm not gonna lie. Your response this year was a lot better than last year's.
Well, what did I say last year?
Last year's you sounded depressed.
But then again, I always get those depressy like times like around my birthday. So it might be like this right now.
Yeah.
But ask me like in a week or two. No, don't ask me in 2 weeks because I'm gonna be drunk somewhere across the world. But ask me like after that, I might be. So.
I'm fucking dead.
But yeah, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We're gonna be the same age again.
Yeah, for a few months.
Yeah, 6 months to be exact.
Damn, is it 6 months? Oh shit, it is.
We're like opposites. That's why we get along.
That's
Because
so,
of Libra and the Aries.
That's crazy. I never thought of that. Oh, but you know what? That makes sense because my half birthday is in April.
You see?
My half birthday is in like a couple days after your.
Yeah. 6 months difference.
That's crazy. Dude, I can't believe we're in March already. We're in March.
No, first of all, January took like forever and a lifetime.
It was like 84 years.
Yes. And then February, I feel like I just blinked and I was like, what?
Gone.
Yes, I'm like, where did the days go?
Yeah.
And now we're in March. Mm-hmm. And hopefully better.
Also, yesterday was what is it like international? What is it like Women's History Day?
When does this come down? When does this come out?
We can't fucking spell, guys.
Come down. ¿Quién nos dio wine on top of this, bro? Ay, Dios mío. No, not yesterday.
It's International.
Today's the 10th. No, International Women's Day. It's on the 8th, so it's on Saturday.
Yeah, but I said it's today because we're in the future, Edith.
Wait, I thought you said yesterday though.
Yeah, because wasn't it? Oh, was it the day before yesterday?
Yeah, the day before
There we
yesterday.
go. There we go.
Nah, like today's Monday, guys. But Saturday. Saturday was wild.
Saturday was wild.
It was Women's Day. I do very much love Women's Day. I feel like we should celebrate each other and like, you know, I mean, all the time, you know, it's kind of like Valentine's Day or Christmas and stuff like that. But like we should celebrate each other all the time. But I think that specific day, it's like, you know, to honor the women that you love and that you respect. And even if it's just like by just saying thank you, telling them I love you and or being like giving them some flowers to show gratitude, you know. Little things.
Is El Día de la Mujer on the same day?
I think so.
Because I know there's El Día de la Mujer too.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Don't call me on that, but I think so.
Okay.
I want to say it is. So yeah, make sure, you know, you show a little bit more appreciation to all the strong women around us.
That reminds me, I probably should. Thank you. You too.
Thanks.
So yes, happy Women's Day to all of our amigas out there, who are kicking butt. Mm-hmm. And even if you feel like you're crawling, hey,
you're doing something. You're getting through it. You're getting through it.
But like, it's just, we're all having, we all have our personal, I can't fucking speak, guys. Sorry. It's just, why did we decide to do this?
Told us to podcast.
I know. But no, for real, I want to celebrate all of our amigas. Like, we all have our struggles. We all have our luchas, but what, Edith?
Pero we persevere.
Yes.
And we're resilient. And we're kicking ass.
There you go. I'm so glad you could finish that for me, because I fucking had a brain fart.
I know. I saw the thought leave your mind. And literally, I was like, oh.
There it goes.
But yeah, mucho amor para todos ustedes, de verdad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what Edith said.
Well,
and like, I feel like there's just something so special about, I mean, like, celebrating the women in your life, and not just like family, but like, best friends, or like, just close ones and stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like we live in a man's world, and I feel like, obviously, I feel like we have to just be there for each other.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's so many instances, and I feel like we got to stand up for each other and be in each other's corner, because I feel like there's so many. Why am I like struggling to talk? I can't.
You haven't even taken a sip of wine.
I took one sip. Oh. I took one sip. And I cannot spoke. I am so sorry, amigas. This episode was supposed to be so special, and I can't even talk right.
I mean, it is special because you're here.
Oh, thanks. Take it away, Edith, before I just...
I was going to say something. I just wish Women's Day, El Día de la Mujer, was bigger in the United States, because I don't feel it's as big as it is around the world. Because, for example, one of my like coworkers back in the day, she was from another country, right? She was actually from Russia. And she said that Women's Day was such a big deal. And then I've had other people from like Europe tell me that Women's Day is a really big like day for them. Like they take time to like really make it a big thing. It's kind of like, how Valentine's Day is here for us, and they make it like that, like
really
as big as that. Yeah.
I don't think it's that big here.
No,
I agree.
don't think so.
No, but then I feel like we live in like just a very patriarchal country.
Yeah.
Is that the word? Is that how you say it? Just a very like misogynistic.
Yeah.
It's like man's world here.
Yeah. But if we all like todos nosotros, like we took the time to like celebrate it, it could be like that, and it's not just saying like like also like of course celebrate the women around you and your loved ones. It como tú dijiste, it doesn't have to be just like your mom and your sisters. It's also your friends, the women that have impacted your life, like
and not only that, but like the girl in the bathroom at the bar who fucking like held your hair.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Exactly.
Or the girl that had a fucking tampon in her purse. Shout out to her.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like it's those little things too that like that's another thing. I was watching this video. I don't remember who the creator was, but she was talking about how like, dude, we have to really be there for each other, because like kind of like what I was saying is like we live in a man's world. I can't stop saying that. Why do I keep the amount of times that I've been fucking saying that? It's Women's Day. I need to focus on that. But she was talking about how like we need to like be better, like be more of a girl's girl.
Yeah.
Like be there for each other, like be supportive even if you don't know each other. But like the girl was saying how she's like, I always carry an extra tampon and a pad either one, because not everybody uses one or the other, you know? So she always carries a tampon and an extra pad in her purse. And it's not like oh, I might need this type of thing. She's like, no, like she has like ingrained into her mind that is for whatever girl needs it when she goes out, because she always puts like her own pads and her own tampons in her purse or whatever she uses, right? She's like, yeah, I have those, but I have one particular tampon and pad that I put in a certain pocket just in case another woman needs it.
Wow, that's such a good idea. I feel like I always usually carry like tampons with me because I'm a tampon user, but having both of them available, because sometimes women don't use like either one, you know, and just doing it for that purpose of like, oh, if somebody else needs it, not just because I need it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was just like, you're so right. Like, because first of all, nobody wants to fuck it. Like, like, some people don't even carry change. You know, when you gotta when you go to like a public restroom, like, and even not even a lot of public restrooms have that little dispenser thingy where you could purchase like a tampon or a pad. But like, and if you do, like, who fucking carries quarters with them?
Yeah.
Because are those even still up? Because I can't remember the last time I fucking saw one.
We have one in my where I work.
Yeah.
But it's like not for use. Like it's just
there for decoration.
But now like ahora like we have a drawer where it's like free for all. Like if you need tampons or pads, like emergency.
I love that.
You could get some.
I 100% support that. Remember when we used to go to East Tech? Miss Key, she always had them for the girls. She did. She always, and I love that, like just being there, because nunca sabes, like it's just like. And I also saw this other video that where like the only reason why we ever have to whisper like, hey, can you ask a guy, like have you seen the videos where the girls go up to guy to be like, hey, what does can you check me mean? And all the guys were like, no, can I check you out? Like they have no idea what that means. But if you go up to a girl and you just say, hey, can you check me?
Oh, yeah, real quick. Walk
go, babe, camina. Oh, no, you're good, girl.
Yeah.
Right? Like, ask any girl. Almost any girl, you ask them, like, hey, can you check me? They're going to know exactly what you mean. And and then the girl, so the creator was saying, like, she's like, the only reason why we have to talk about this privately is because I feel like as this, like, society as a whole tries to shame women for like period talks are not a normal talk.
No, but the thing about it, they should be a normal talk because it's something natural that most women go through, or like most, like, you know, most people like go through. And why is this such a shameful topic? You get me? Because I do remember growing up and it's like, oh, you know, it's very hush hush. But it happens to everybody. Like, why wouldn't, like, not everybody, but, like, you know, whoever has a uterus, it happens to most people. So it's like, why is it there's such a shame that, like, this?
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of, like, even almost taboo. Like, don't, be careful. Don't talk about this.
Yeah. Like, but it's so weird because, like, in different places around the world, like, that kind of stuff is even celebrated.
Yeah.
Like as soon as a girl gets like a period, they be throwing fucking parties when a girl gets her period, and it's like a very normal conversation to have. And it's not like something that, first of all, it's not something to be ashamed of. It's something that is like celebrated almost. And like there's places around the world where like they, like I said, they throw parties and stuff, and it's like, not that I want someone to throw a party because I got my period, you know, but like it's just it's how like it's different. Yeah, it's different how they view it exactly. And because I saw this video, and like it's just, and it's not something that's thrown in your face to be like what's the word, like something cuando alguien te dice algo negative, like a the opposite of a compliment. Yeah. What is it? What's the opposite of a compliment?
Comment down below, guys.
I cannot think right now. Eat it. What the
offense? No, not offense, right? No,
you're getting there.
I don't know, but I know what you're trying to talk about.
I know what you're trying to talk. I know what you're trying to say. It's not meant to be like So anyways, like I feel like a lot of places here, like it is something that's kind of like thrown in your face, almost like in a negative way. Because I saw this video too where this guy, of course it had to be a fucking guy, that was like, why are only women's the ones that are allowed to use their hormones as an excuse? And I'm like, and then,
sir, have you ever been in excruciating pain once a month?
and the girl it was a Stitch video, right? And then the girl was like, she said the same thing, like, oh, let's see if you can fucking handle the lining of your uterus coming out of your body, like literally like causing you all this pain. And then she's like, and no, they don't get to use it as a fucking excuse. You know why? Because women are still expected to show up to work. They're still expected to clean. They're still expected to do every single thing that everyday normal, like, it's like they're not handed a fucking, what is it called?
Like a pass?
Yeah, they're not handed a pass. And we still have to pay for fucking tampons. Yeah. We still have to pay for pads.
Tax on that.
And it's taxed. Exactly. Like, I feel like if it were men, that shit would have already been free.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That shit would have already been free.
Get your monthly supplies.
Yeah.
For free.
But no, the girl was like going on or like she went on this whole thing, but it's just like crazy because at the end of the day, we can't even use it as an excuse because it's thrown in our face because you stand up for yourself one time and then they're like, damn, are you on your period?
Oh my God, yeah.
How many, like the amount of fucking times that men have pulled that shit? Oh, are you PMSing? Are you on your period? Just because you stand up for yourself? Like just because I didn't fall in line with whatever the fuck you had to say? Now all of a sudden you're a bitch. You must be on your period.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. And I feel like it's just one of those things, like it is kind of like a taboo topic almost. And
you shouldn't be though.
Because remember we had that whole fucking conversation about the first time that I got my period, like and even like my mom being a woman herself, you know, and it was just kind of like
awkward.
It was kind of like a weird situation all around, like the way that I feel like she didn't really sit down with me talk. And I know she has her fucking reasons and whatever, but it was just kind of like like I said, like my mom, it was almost like she was mad at me for getting my period so young, but it's like I can't fucking control that.
Exactly. It's your body doing its natural things. I do admire the fact that, you know, because I feel like a lot of our moms like treated it very taboo topic. Like, aquí están. I'm not really gonna explain to you what's happening, but here's what you need and go. But I admire the women like that take the time to be like to educate, you know, the young like girls, like what's actually happening to their body, because sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I got my period, but why is all this happening? Like, why am I feeling this way? Like, why do I feel like this way about my body? Like, you know. And we didn't get explained that. Like, no nos explicaron eso.
They gave us like one little class when I was in 5th grade, I think.
Yeah.
It was like a little 30-minute talk and that was
it. I remember my mom had to sign the paper and she's like, yeah, well, go so they could teach you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really, like, it tells you the base,
and I feel like we still don't really like fully grasp it. Like,
because I don't feel that there's no,
it's like a 30-minute conversation and then what? That's it. Like, I just feel like, and then for the people who have never had a period, they like don't fully understand what like a cramp is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're so young too. Like, if you still had it, because I got my period for the first time when I was in 5th grade.
Oh, yeah.
I was in 5th grade, and that was when they did the talk. And, like, there was a bunch of, like, my classmates who still hadn't gotten it. So they didn't even know, like, what do you mean by cramps? Like, what do you mean by... And, like, to even find out, like, as I got older, that cramps are not supposed to be, like a
normal thing.
Like a normal thing. Because I used to get really bad cramps. Like, I had a friend who used to pass out from how bad her cramps were. They actually fucking had to call the ambulance to school. Because she passed out in the bathroom and they found her on the floor. Yeah.
But they don't want to give me a day off, bro.
Yeah, but they don't want to give me a day off. We're not. They can't give us they can't give us like 2-3 days like out of the month because it's like, damn, like, bro, like, let me see you fucking get cramps and then your back hurt, your low back hurts because my low back be fucking killing me too. Yeah.
Or like my thighs, they be hurting too. But you know what? My brain farted. Brain fart right now.
Your brain farted.
But I do have to also like applaud the men that do go like they don't completely understand like what a woman's going through, but they still have empathy towards them, you know, and are kind, and especially to the women close to them. When that time of the month comes, and take the time to educate themselves on top of that. Or not a lot of men, but
and there's also the men too who are like, don't even get grossed out, like it's just the normal thing. Or like it's normal.
But there's a lot of men out there too that get grossed out, girl.
That's so like childish to me.
It's like blood.
And this isn't supposed to. Okay, this conversation is not supposed to be a women's versus men. No, like this is not a women's versus men. This is this shit is real life. And there's the people who fucking make it into such a big deal, like taboo topic. And then there's the people who understand that it's a natural thing and it's not gross. Was that your stomach?
My tummy. My tummy.
It's speaking. It was the podcast.
Apúrate para ir a comer.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't like how a lot of like it has to be like a men's versus women's thing. Like I don't really like those conversations, but I actually saw this post and I wanted to share it with you because I'm like, it's interesting how like people like to twist things around to, I don't know, like
to make it seem like one side against the other.
Yeah. Look, let me just read you. It says, someone make this make sense.
Okay.
Women want older men equals preference. Men want younger women, he's a predator. Women don't date poor men, preference. Men don't date single mom, immature. Women want dominant, preference. Men want submissive, misogyny. Women set boundaries is empowering, and men who set boundaries are controlling.
Ooh.
What do you think?
I think yes, to an extent, you know? On both sides.
Can you explain?
On both sides. Like, what? Can you read me?
Okay, for example, women want older men is a preference, but men wanting younger women is a predator.
Yeah, like boundaries, you know? Like, if you're talking about, like, a man wanting, like, somebody that's, like, a couple years younger than them and stuff like that, like, that's okay. Of course, we shouldn't be calling them, like, a predator. But, yo, if you're saying, like, way, way younger than them, like, we're talking about, like, she just turned 18, that's questionable. And you're like 30 something, that's questionable. But the same thing with women. This is the thing about it. Like, I see why a lot of women date very much older. That's true. But that doesn't, like, in my eyes, like, I don't see it like, oh my, like, that's right, you know, like, go for it. For me, it's like, ooh, I don't know. Because then again, I have a thing with age gaps. That's me.
Just in general, like,
yeah, in general, and it goes for men and women.
Yeah, so it's not even just like oh, men are predators and women just have a preference. Yeah. Like, you think both ways. It's kind of like it's kind of screwed up. Like, it's kind of screwed up both ways.
But I see how society sees that, though.
Yeah,
I definitely see that. Like, I
can see that too. Okay, women don't date poor men, and that's a preference.
Yeah.
But men that don't date single moms is immature.
I don't think it's immature, though. I don't think it's immature because...
But I've actually seen the comments.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of the comments, though. Like, I've seen videos where men who get asked, like, oh, would you date a single mom? And they're like, no. And then you see the comments and, like, a whole bunch of people in the comments are, like, basically, like, oh, you're so immature. And, like, going after the guy for not wanting to date a single mom.
I mean, depende de su razón también. If they're like, no, I want a single mom because some weird-ass reason.
What's a weird ass reason?
I don't know. Maybe that he's like, oh, I've seen when guys say like, oh, I don't want to a single mom, and this is one video that I saw because they're like basically insinuating that they're used type thing. That's freaking what the fuck.
Yeah.
You get me? That to me is like what the fuck. But I feel like when you say like, I just don't see myself being with somebody who has kids because, for example, me, I'll use myself because I don't see myself dating a man that has kids because I feel like your whole time is dedicated to them, which is like that in itself is it's a lot, and I want somebody that doesn't have that commitment already because I want to
that they can invest more time with.
They can invest more time with us, and I'm not gonna take you away from your kids either. What piece of shit person am I gonna be? So yeah.
But do you think more men get like backlash?
Yeah, definitely.
Like if a guy was to say like I don't date single moms, then like a girl saying I don't date single dads.
No, I definitely think more men get backlash for saying that they don't date single moms. In society.
I can kind of see it too, but yeah, I guess I can see it. I just think there's like certain things. It's just certain things where
Your
like
reasoning too.
the reasoning has a lot to do with it, but I think there's just like certain things where like one gender versus the other gets the short end of the stick. Like it's a double-edged sword, right? Like it's, for example, like here's one thing. It's like more socially acceptable for a girl to like go and kiss her like best friend. I'm not saying like on the lips or anything, but like if you're like go up to like your friend and you guys like kiss each other on the cheek or something, right?
Yeah.
That's like more socially acceptable. But if you see a man go up to his homie and kisses him on the cheek, people are gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, I see that. But it's also the society we live in.
Yeah.
Who had said it, it's a very misogynistic kind of society. Like we men have to be men, and part of being an alpha is
and also like the history of like homophobia too.
Exactly, that to it. And that's not for example, like even like the kiss on the lips, because a lot of like friends or like girls like tend to sometimes like kiss and stuff like that, and it's also like that, how can I say, you could go a little bit beyond and be like the fetish on that, on the society has put on that, and you could see
where it's like it's hot for women to make out, but then you see two men and it's like ugh,
exactly.
Oh, you're right,
like
100%. Okay, how about the women want dominant, which is a preference, and then men who want submissive is misogyny?
Oh, that one I could see.
I can see it, but at the same time, I think, here we go. I think it comes to what is the agreement between the two people. What is the agreement between two people? Because, like, for example, I don't know about, okay, so like women wanting like a more dominant man, right? Can be seen as a preference. But then like a man wanting someone submissive, it's like one thing for like, for example, like whatever agreement is between them, or like what like is going, like what the dynamic is.
Yeah.
Because like what if the girl is like, I'm not a very submissive person, but this guy is like basically, no, like you need to be the one serving me my food, like you're meant to be at home, you know what I'm saying? So it's like if they have those values where they believe that is the woman's duty, that is misogynistic.
Yeah.
Right? But if I think it is a preference if it's not like they feel like that is every woman's duty.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Do you
get what I'm saying?
No, there is a difference.
Okay.
No, there is a difference.
Okay.
There is a difference. And you're explaining it.
Okay, because I was like, damn, am I like not speaking this correctly? Because, like some people do want a traditional relationship like that, where like, a woman is super in her feminine and nurturing, and, man is more masculine and they like more traditional in the sense of like where the man is more in a leadership position in the relationship or whatever. And people are completely okay with that. if that's what their preference is for like that for themselves, there's a difference, right?
And that's what they agree on, both of them.
Yeah. Versus versus like the man thinking that every woman needs to do that.
Yeah, or that they think they're better.
Yeah.
Or they hold more value than a woman. So that's why a woman should be submissive to them.
But like for the opposite of that though, like women wanting someone dominant, I feel like, what is the negative? Hold on.
But it's because then again, you come to the point where it's like you throw a history and everything like that. I feel like as a woman, for just speaking, you know, if you want somebody more dominant, tampoco no, you know that you don't want somebody that treats you like shit either. Like I feel like it's when you say, "Oh, I want somebody more dominant," it's because it's not somebody that's gonna treat you like that. Like, oh, nomás sirves para la cocina y ya y te trata like shit, you know?
Yeah, and I also feel like
somebody that just
leads
better.
Excuse me. There's also a difference between like women who say like, oh, you know, I want a man who leads in the relationship versus being, I feel like trying to almost like dehumanize men in a sense of like, why are you crying? Like, why?
I was about to say that, girl.
Like, why are you acting like a little bitch?
Yeah.
You know, like that. Eso tampoco no está bien because like men can 100% cry and have emotions and feel things and
society has very much done its duty to make men suppress all their feelings.
Yeah.
And that's why we have so many issues also with men who have been suppressing their feelings for so long that obviously it's going to come out one way or another. And it ain't going to look pretty.
It's like, what is it? Repressed anger and stuff. It comes out as repressed anger.
Or addictions and everything like that. Men's health.
Their mental health is just as important too. And I think there's also that dynamic, right? Where like, just because like a woman says like she want to, like, I think it's like in a sense where I don't think it's a bad thing if a woman just says like, oh, I want to be in a relationship with a man who leads. But also like it's toxic if she's just like, no, you're not allowed to cry because what the fuck? Why are you being a little bitch? Like fucking suck it up. Like grow some balls. Like that's
be an alpha.
Yeah. Like why the fuck can't you fix my car?
Yeah.
Like
but why can't you? I'm just kidding. But and it's the same thing the other side. Like it's okay for a guy or a man to want somebody that's a little bit more submissive. But now if you're treating a woman like that's her only value, to be in the kitchen to do just the traditional stuff, and you see your value over like more than hers, then that's misogyny. You know, I think there's a line for everything.
Yeah.
There's a line for everything.
Which actually leads us into the last one that says women setting boundaries is empowering, but men setting boundaries is controlling. And I feel like that one I do not agree with.
Yeah, I was going to say like how?
I don't agree with it because they think that like a man setting boundaries is like, oh, he's trying to control his girl. Like, for example, like if he says like, oh, I just don't feel, you know, like comfortable with you, like maybe, you know, showing so much skin.
Yeah.
I can definitely see someone being like, oh, you're just trying to control like what I wear and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you put an example. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to like see it in my head.
Yeah.
But I was like,
well, I think because like this one, I think they missed the mark because there's a difference between trying to set boundaries with what you're comfortable with and actually trying to like control like what's beyond like outside of your person, you know, like outside of you. Like trying to control someone else.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And it also like depends on like the dynamic that you want, right? Because like there's also like people who they like their boundary, like for example, that they don't like, oh, how can I word this? Like, for example, a person can be like, I don't feel comfortable with you. Like, let's just say having such a close relationship with females. Yeah. Or whatever, you know, like let's say a woman says that to her man, like, is it controlling or is it a boundary?
I feel like if she said it like, oh, I don't feel comfortable, you know, not saying like you should cut off every woman in your like life right now, your besties, but she's like saying how she feels about it, not telling him like you have to do this, but just like voicing her opinion. I don't think it's controlling. I think it's setting boundaries. and the vice versa as well. If she has a lot of like, you know, like male friends and stuff like that, and he could voice his opinion like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you having so many like male friends, that's him voicing his opinion as well. Now if he goes like, you need to cut off all these like male friends you have like right now, or else this is not going to work, that's controlling.
Yeah.
It's a way of how you communicate at the end of the day, and how much respect you have for your partner, and also for yourself, because you're setting those boundaries.
I agree with you, but I also want to take it one step further, because like, let's say I were to tell Val like, hey, like, I'm not comfortable with you having like this many like friends that are girls, right? And I'm not controlling him at this point. I'm just telling him that that's my boundary.
Yeah.
In the relationship that we're in, that's the dynamic
And that's
that
how you feel.
I want. That's the dynamic that I want, where I say like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you having friends. Now, I'm taking it one step further with him, whether he agrees to that or not. Like, let's say he's just like, oh, I can respect that. Like, that's definitely a boundary, okay? But let's say he is like, I don't agree with it. And he's like, I'm going to still have women. Like, I'm still going to be hella cool with women. I then have to decide, like, okay, like, he is obviously, like, not respecting the boundary, right? Because he doesn't care. Which that's ultimately how people respond to your boundaries is not your responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not really, like, it's up to you. In a sense, it's like, people are not supposed, like, not everybody's going to be happy with your boundaries, right? And it's ultimately up to you with how you respond to that. Now, if I were to say like, oh shit, like he doesn't want to agree to my boundary, then I have to decide, am I okay with like, you know, lowering that fucking boundary?
If it's something negotiable.
Yeah. If it's something negotiable, am I okay with lowering that boundary? Or am I going to go psycho bitch and fucking try to force him not to that's controlling.
Yeah, no, that I 100% agree.
Now that's controlling. It wasn't even just like how it was spoken. I think it's also like how you respond to it is what's the controlling part.
No, yeah, I agree. And it goes both ways. Goes both ways. So, yeah, I don't know about that last one, but...
Yeah. But there's some, like I said, I feel like there's different areas of life where just one gender gets the short end of the stick. It's kind of how society has, you know... reinforced certain stereotypes and certain gender roles and stuff like that.
No, I completely agree. For example, like when men get praised for being single dads.
Oh my God, yes.
Women don't.
Yeah, or how like it's how women get hella shit because like it's Father's Day and then all these guys are like, oh, making fun of all these girls who are like, oh, I'm gonna celebrate myself on Father's Day or whatever. Like they get hella shit, which I'm like, dude, them whether or not they want to fucking celebrate themselves on Father's Day has nothing to do with your life. Why do you care so much? Why do you care so much? Like I remember because I am 100% one of those people where I'm not a parent, so obviously I'm not celebrating myself, but I do celebrate my mom on Father's Day. And I mean, like, I take care of my dad too. Like, I'll, you know, wish him a happy Father's Day and I'll, you know, like buy him a little gift and stuff. Okay. But I will 100% celebrate my mother on Father's Day. And it's not because she's telling me I have to celebrate her. I am choosing to because my mother had to work 2 jobs and had to fulfill the duty that was supposed to be meant for 2 people. And one of them just could not fulfill that duty. So my mom had to step in and work 2 jobs. And not even just 2 jobs. She had side hustles too. Like she was doing twice the amount of work that a parent is supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And so I will 100% honor my mom on Father's Day as well. And it's not just because she has a fucking no, like, yeah, like it's not like I feel like just because you're a male and you have a kid does not mean you're a father.
No, I could 100% agree. Even when it comes to women.
And it's the same with women, right? On Mother's Day. Like, I feel like if a man stepped up and, you know, started taking that whole, like, they basically had to raise the kids all on their own because, you know, the mom was a fucking deadbeat mom. Yeah. I honestly, I would celebrate the dad too on Mother's Day. Yeah. Like, I would do it on both. And it's just because they had to work choice is hard.
They had to, como tú dijiste,
they had to step up.
Both mom and dad.
I don't know, but anyway, so like my point was, going back to my point, I do celebrate my mom on Father's Day. And I remember there was like people in my comments literally saying like, she's not a dad. Why are you so? And I'm like, why do you care so much? What I do like, with my life. And I was like, first of all, my mom is not fucking forcing me. She doesn't ask. My mom has never asked me to celebrate her on Father's Day. It was something that me and my sister decided to do because we respect her so much and for everything that she has sacrificed for us, that we were the ones that were like, we are going to honor you on this day. And we do it every year. And for someone to have a fucking opinion on it, it's like, why do you care? Like what I do? Like it has nothing to do with your life.
People have the audacity. I'll just say that. People really do have the audacity. Audacity.
Okay, let's take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
And we are back.
We are back. I just had to check my wine. Because Edith finished hers and I was like, oh, damn. Yo acá muy de yapping away.
I feel like a part of me that I can't really think is because I haven't had my coffee, bro.
That's girl, hasn't it just been one day?
Yeah.
I know when you told me. Hold on, when I read, I think I read that when I was like about to start driving, and then I was just like, I'm pretty sure it's only been one day. Miss Homie over here is like, I'm going through withdrawal.
I literally feel like I am, bro. I feel like I am. I drink coffee every single day, guys. Every single day. Sometimes hasta 2 vasos de café. And I just haven't, like, that's my morning routine. And I feel like I feel really off because I haven't fulfilled my traditional morning routine. Even though I drank like 3 cups of tea in the morning. Trying to like, maybe this will help. Girl.
It just didn't do it for you?
I mean, it did the warmth part because I do like warm coffee.
And it has caffeine, right?
Yeah, but it's the dopamine that I get when that coffee touches my tongue. Like, it's just a taste of it. I don't know. So.
I can't relate, but I've experienced that with my mom. She goes crazy when she hasn't had her coffee.
Exactly. So here I am.
Can't think.
We'll see how I do. I have just like 40 more days to go.
39.
39 more days.
39. Let us know if anybody is participating in Lent. Let us know what you decided to give up for Lent. I decided not to participate this year. I have in the past, but I decided not to participate this year. I don't know why. It wasn't, no me nació.
Yeah.
Es
algo que tiene que nacer.
You like I feel like when people like force themselves, it's just kind of like no, you gotta do it like it comes from here, you know. And like it did for you because
I've never participated in Lent before, guys. Never. Like I've had family like around me that did, but me myself, I mean, my parents were never like really strict when it came to religion, and I was raised like Catholic, but like I would say like kind of Catholic because it's not like they really like put the religion on us. They taught us about it, but not like, oh my god, like you have to do it. So I never actually, I'm gonna be like completely honest, I feel like I was a critic of like the Catholic religion and especially like during Lent. I just didn't understand the practices and stuff. And then the older I got, like the more like I was like, oh, I kind of see it and stuff. And then this year, bro, no sé qué me pasó. Like I felt like desde el principio del año, like I've been actually really thinking about it for a while. And I was like, I don't know, but something in me like really wants to like, you know, deepen my relationship with the traditions that I like, you know, that I seen my family grow up with, you know. And I was like, you know what, this year I might participate.
Oh, that's good. Did your family go with you too?
No, only my sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mom was like, no, like she had to go pick up my sisters and stuff like that. She's like, no. And my mom has her own relationship
and they be having some long ass lines, girl.
Oh my gosh! First of all, I knew it was gonna be packed.
Girl, yeah, girl.
But that was on another level of packed.
That church is always busy as hell.
And keep in mind, I've gone to that church before, but never during this season. Excuse me, guys. During this season, because I was going to church for a while, a couple years back, but I would go the first mass of the day, which was on Sunday, which was at 6 a.m. So there wasn't a lot of people there. It was only la gente que
No, girl, this is sardine packed.
No, this was on another level. Y eso que llegué más temprano to get parking and to like find a seat.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, to get out of the parking lot, girl, duré like almost an hour.
Yeah, girl. I believe you. The times that I've gone, I think maybe that's why I
You're like, I don't know if I want to spend that much time right now.
Girl. I just sometimes like I think about like all the people around me, like I just feel like I mean, especially lately I've been feeling really emotionally drained and mentally drained, and I didn't have it in me.
No.
But no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So yeah, guys, this is the year that I'm actively participating in Lent, and it's I decided to give up coffee because I felt like it was something I could have given up other things, but I wanted something that could really like hurt, like something I was really dependent on that I needed.
That's something that was going to challenge you.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that was going to challenge me, and there was only one thing that was going to challenge me.
Yeah,
because it was coffee.
Because there's a lot of things that I feel like people will like, oh, I'm going to give this up, but it's like not really like you're not really challenging yourself in a way.
I could have been like, oh, I'm gonna give up drinking, but girl, when do I drink?
Exactly.
Like. I barely drink. That would be easy.
The point is to give up something that you have, kind of created like such an attachment to. Like that's the point of it too, is you're basically like giving it up for 40 days.
Yeah, it's to kind of like resemble the sacrifice that to the Catholics out there that Jesus made for us,
Which there's never going to be a comparison to
never.
There's never going to be a comparison to what Jesus Christ.
But it's supposed to be somehow some way to connect.
Yeah.
So, that, and then I'm doing other like different like doing my devotional and stuff like that. Just trying to like really
lean into your faith.
Lean into my faith. Because I feel like I've always been a very spiritual person. But I feel like also like I haven't dedicated enough time to that as well. So we'll see.
I mean, I can see why, like, like I think, especially with just how crazy the world is right now.
It's
just
I need
like
to have some hope.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a lot of people who I think when times get rough, it's very natural for them to want to lean into their faith and just, look for like a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, exactly.
So I think it was very natural.
Yeah. I thought it was so cool. Like, how also like for all the people that are Muslim, they're also actively doing like Ramadan right now. And I thought that was cool how like these two like
they kind of just
kind of align in kind of like the same practices of what they're doing. I thought that was cool.
I do believe wholeheartedly that we all have like all the human race in general, doesn't matter where you're from. I do wholeheartedly believe that we have a lot more in common than people like to believe.
Oh yeah. And it just takes like a sparking conversation to like so you could see how much you have in common. So
like even people like it's so crazy because like even people that we like our values don't align and our ideals like don't align, but like you like it's so interesting because like you will it's like even the person that you think is the total opposite of you like you can find common ground on something.
But then no, that's true. Sometimes we just kind of have to focus on that.
Yeah, but girl, there are some people that I'm like, you know what? I don't want to.
I don't want to find common ground with you. I really don't
want to find common ground with you.
But yeah. Ay, Dios mío.
So actually, as like we've been talking about, like it being like Women's History Month and Women's Day or whatever. And how we were talking about like building or having like a sisterhood with other women and stuff like that. I actually just wanted to bring this up because it is interesting like how as I got older, I started realizing how this isn't a normal thing for everybody.
What do you mean?
So what I'm talking about is, ever since I was little, growing up, and even into like my, like early 20s and stuff like that, I thought it was so normal for people to wait. Like, let's say you're going to go drop somebody off. The person who dropped you off, I thought it was normal for them to wait outside of the house until the other person went into their house. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, when I drop you off, I'll wait until you're inside your house before I take off.
Me too.
But it's not everybody does that. Like, that's not
I know not everybody does it, and the reason why I do is because I've dated, like, people that I've dated that they've done that, and I'm like, well, I don't like that.
Where they just they drop you off and they're fucking gone.
I'm like, off my list, and then keep on texting me, that was a great day, like, we should do it again. I'm like, I don't know about that.
I actually, okay, I know this is such a small thing, but when it comes, obviously not when it comes to men, because I'm fully married and happily married, but when it comes to just friendships, and like, just like close ones and stuff like that, that is something that I peep. I will always peep the people who like drop me off, and if they fucking take off right away, like, don't wait for me to get inside my house. Like, I'm already at the door. Like, the chances of me like something happening to me are very like slim to none. Okay, like, I will most likely, like 99.9% will make it into my house.
Yeah, but what about that 0.01%?
And you want to know who that 0.01% was?
What?
Me. Because that shit happened.
What?
When I was younger, I got dropped off.
By a friend?
Yeah, by a friend. I got dropped off by a friend. And also, I was really young because I was in like middle school, okay?
I thought you were little.
Yeah, and so she wasn't driving. Her fucking mom was.
Not the adult.
Yes, a full-grown adult. Okay, they dropped me off. I was in like middle school or like 5th grade or something. Yeah. Okay, they dropped me off, and then they just fucking like left. They dropped me off at the front and they took off.
It's crazy because what if you, like, for me, it's like you start thinking, like, what if they can't get into their house? Like, what if they
bitch, like that's exactly what happened. Okay, no. I could not get into my house because it turns out I grabbed the wrong key or something, or I forgot it. I forgot what the reason was, but I could not get into my house. Okay, I was the 0.01% that something happened and I could not get into my house. Girl, I was just sitting there trying to figure out how the hell I'm gonna get into this house because my mom did not get home till like 1 a.m. My mom did not get home till like 1:30 in the morning, and I think my sister, I think she was also working during this time, so she didn't get off of work, and my mom would go pick her up at like 1 a.m. So it was just like, girl, how the fuck am I gonna get into this house? It was either my sister was working or she was already moved out.
Yeah.
But it was like basically like, girl, you either figure it out or you gonna have to wait until your mom get off work. So, and I already knew my mom was going to give me hella shit because she'd be like, ay, te dije que no se te olvide la llave. You know how moms are. Turn everything into a lesson. So I was just like, dude, I was stuck outside my house and I'm like, what am I going to do? I literally had to, I don't know. I went into my backyard and I remembered that the kitchen window. So it was like the window that's above the sink. That one sometimes like it jammed, but like if you like would do it like hard enough, it would open. First of all, scary as fuck because that's the house that almost got broken into.
I was gonna say, isn't that the house?
Yes. Which okay, so this is what happened. So I ended up having to like get a chair because that window was like, it was one of the like smaller squared ones that I had to like pull up a chair and I was able to like slide it. I was able to slide it open. I was surprised I didn't break it, dude. I would have been mortified, but I slid it open and I had to literally crawl and I had to like get into the side, like sideways to get into this fucking window. Yeah, I stay on the crawling into the, and then fell, and then the fucking something got caught into the sink handle. Girl, I looked like a fucking cartoon. Like, it was just, it was comical trying to fucking climb into my house. Yeah. And after that, my mom was, I told her what happened. And yeah, she got mad at me. And then we had to put like a stick or something fucking, no se puede. Because my mom was like, damn, you were able to fucking open the window.
We need protection.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what happened to me. Like, I couldn't get into my fucking house. And my friend and her mom fucking took off as soon as they dropped me off. So.
And did you tell her, your friend, after?
Yeah, I told her and she just laughed about it. Like, she just did not connect, like, oh, maybe I should wait for you next time. It just, I again, we're like younger, so like maybe it just didn't connect. But I think it was always instilled in me to like wait for whoever I'm dropping off, like wait in the car until they get into their house. And especially after that happened to me, girl, I was never gonna just take off on somebody because like, like I knew what happened to me. But that, or like what's another one, like like telling your friend like, oh, like let me know when you're home, like if they're like leaving your house or something, which Miss Ma'am forgets all the time, but I have your location. Okay, so
there we go.
So if I didn't have your location though, I would text you like, hey, are you home? But I see, like I always thought that was normal, was to like, hey, like let me know when you're home, or like if someone is leaving my house, I was the last person they saw, because what if they never make it home, you know? Like
that's true.
It's like, okay, guys, like some people might think it's weird, but also like I was raised to be like that, like just be like, I think vigilant, be hyper aware, even though I don't know what the fuck was going through my head sometimes growing up, but be vigilant, be hyper aware, and like just I don't know, just kind of have like that protectiveness of, you know, and like care, like genuinely care, because I just think it's like, I would think it's like super weird, or just like, I don't know, I also notice a lot of like patterns, like people's patterns. So if like they're acting like out of character or something, like I feel like I recognize that, and just like check in with, like, even if I know this person doesn't really like to talk about their feelings or something, just later on, like I think it was normal for me to just like check in with them and just be like, hey, like you know, you kind of seemed down today, like I hope everything's okay. Like I'm not expecting someone to tell me their problems, but just, you know, just being like, hey, like you just let me know if there's anything I can do to help, you know, like I don't know, just having that, like, just, I don't know, like, I think I was just raised to, like, care about people, and
care and nurture.
Care about, like, I know I'm, like, weird sometimes, where, like, for the longest time, I couldn't be in front of somebody crying. Like, I was so awkward. Yeah. But I at the end of the day, like, I was still, like, taught to, like, care about others in ese sentido, you know, like, making sure that people were safe, you know? I think above all, just, like, making sure, like, checking in with people to make sure they're safe.
I think that's important. I feel like it's like, it's costumbre. Well, I guess not, apparently it's not normal. But to be like, you know, text me when you're home, or like, or just the fact of waiting for them to get into their property house, like house, to know that they're like good. Like you just never know nowadays, especially like especially nowadays.
Yeah, like nowadays it's just know. And it's just like, statistically speaking, I think as women too, right? Like I think it's a very important, especially as women, if, you know, like if men aren't, because there's some men that don't fucking do that shit, but like there's also women who don't do it, like my friend's mom. But I think like, especially, I feel like as women, we also should stick, like, you know, like with your girlfriends and stuff and your friends, like stick up for each other, and just like, you know, if you notice that like, hey, so and so didn't show up today, like, oh shit, like let me like that. You know, maybe an emergency came up, but like they don't have to tell me the details of it, but like I just want to make sure, like, because I've done that, like my coworker didn't show up to work one day, and it was very like, I knew the time that she normally would get there because she always showed up a little bit late, but I was like, okay, maybe she woke up a little bit later today, so I gave it a few more minutes, and and what's it called, she just never like showed up, and I was like, oh my god, like I hope everything's okay, and I just reached out and I'm like, hey, like I hope everything's okay, just, you know, checking in with you. And then like, oh my God, like I've been in the hospital all night, like whatever,
Yeah.
but they're like, I'm okay.
I do the same thing with some of my coworkers, like the ones that I'm close to. That when they don't show up, it's just like a quick check-in, like just to make sure that they're good.
Yeah, because it's like I think especially like as women, because statistically speaking, like shit happens to women a lot. Like they get kidnapped or like you just never know. Maybe they're in an accident or something. But also, I think we live in Vegas. That is like the number one like human trafficking hub, and I feel like you just never know. Especially when like you notice someone's behavior and like like for example, like I'm like a creature of routine. I am such a creature of routine. Like, if someone really wanted to fucking stalk me, they could, because I literally take the same roads every day to work. I will do the same, like, I get off at the same time I get, like, people could really, like, know my schedule, okay? It's so natural for me to have this routine. But, and, like, so, likewise, my coworker who, she knows my routine. So, it's like, when I wasn't there and I never showed up, it was kind of like for her, it was so easy for her to just text me real quick and be like, hey girl, just checking in, like, is everything okay? Like, and actually it turns out that was the day I got into a car accident. And she like, it's one of those things, because like, what if something did happen? I feel like the people that are closest to you in proximity are the first to notice, like when something's a little different, or if something's going on. I feel like the people who really like know, there's people who really, I mean, there's some people who live in their own world and lack self-awareness, but
there's a lot of those.
there's a lot of people like that. But I feel like the people who take it an extra step and like notice those things and actually check in with you, like I love those people.
No, it's very much appreciated. I think definitely you should surround yourself with people like that. That notice just the little things. And it's like, for me, it shows a lot, and it says a lot about the person as well. Like when people check in on me, like let's say I didn't go to work and then I get those texts, I'm like, oh, that's sweet of them. Of course, there's people that I'm not like completely close to. I'm not gonna say my whole life story, like all this happened, but just the action and the just you remembering about me and making sure that I was okay means a lot.
Yeah,
it means a lot. So I do really like that. And I myself, I'm like that. I like notice little things, and then I'm like, oh, no me tienes que decir nada, pero nomás dime que estás bien.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's one of
more people should be like that.
That's actually one of my things. Is like, those are the things that I peep for, especially in friendships. I think just those like small acts really say a lot. Just someone simply telling me, or like the people who walk you to your car, like when someone comes over and they like walk you out, they walk you to the door. Like stuff like that. I mean, it's different. Like, for example, like when Edith comes over, I just be opening up my garage door. But that's because I feel like we're so close where it's like this is your home too.
Yeah.
Like I see it as like, this is your home too. Like, you don't need me to be like formally opening up the door for you. And
I do like that sometimes though.
No, I still do it sometimes, but sometimes I'll get caught up like doing something, and so I'm just like, oh, I'll open it and you can just come right in, because to me this is your home too. But I still walk you out, like I'll still walk you out, but like I pay attention to those things, because it's like those small acts I feel like say a lot when someone is genuinely caring for your well-being. Because I feel like if I just didn't show up to work one day, like what is to say that, like, you don't know if like I was fucking kidnapped, I got ran over, something happened, and you just gave zero fucks, like you just went on about your day like nothing,
Exactly. Or what if you're like in the brink of a breakdown, and then just that simple text, knowing that somebody cares about you, it's like what changes the whole scenario, So I love that in friendships. I think especially also in dating, it's very important. You need to look out for that. I for example, when I go out on dates, I do notice that a lot. If whoever I'm dating with like gives me that simple like, oh, you text me once you're home, or like walks me out all the way to my car, or I don't do the whole picking me up from my home a lot, because just for safety issues, I don't like a lot of people. But the times that I do like that we get to that point, it's like I do appreciate you walking me all the way to my door, It's just those little things that show like, okay, I care about you, like I care about your well-being, and it doesn't take that much,
I think those are for sure, like in friendships or romantic relationships, like those little small acts are such a green flag that it's just kind of like, okay, like I know that like if something really were to happen to me, like that person would be calling 911 if I didn't get back to them within a certain time, or like if they were like, no, this is super out of character for Angel, like she would have never missed this appointment. You know what I'm saying? Like she would have never just ghosted me like that. I mean, I feel like a lot of, like, all my close ones know I'm terrible at texting.
Yeah, but to a point.
To a point. But I'm terrible at getting back to people and stuff. But, like, I feel like if they notice that's something that is truly out of character for me, like, if we make plans and I just, like, I'm not a ghoster, like, in that sense. Like, if we make plans, like, hey, we're going to go to this, on this day, whatever, right? Like, at this time, and I just, like, let's say I just never, like, hit you up the whole day or the day before or whatever, and I just, like, that would be super out of character for me. Like, I don't just ghost people. If I don't feel like going or something, I will let that person know. I'll be like, hey, like, I'm just not up for it, like, let's reschedule this. But I will never just ghost, you know, like, that's super out of character. So if, like, someone notices that shit and they're like, oh yeah, this is a big no, like, Angel would never, and they're willing to fucking gather up a search party for me, like, that is, like, to me, that is such a green flag.
Yeah. Notice that in your friendships. Like, evaluate the people that are closest to you, you know, like, even
who check
partner,
in on you.
Yeah, even your partner. Like, just notice those little things, because it says a lot. Honestly, those little actions speak a lot about a person. So
I 100% agree. Should we just do some chisme? Because ya nos pasamos.
Oh.
I think.
Aviéntate una.
Okay, let's do one.
Una. If you guys don't know, we do have a Chisme pal metiche. Make sure to submit your chisme. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down below. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, head over to our Instagram. There's a link over there. Díganos todos sus chismes, todos sus problemas. You know, like,
I noticed.
If you want to vent.
I noticed we haven't been getting a lot, guys.
I know. Like, y'all not having issues or what?
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Okay, let's see.
Not us trying to have our friends have problems and stuff.
I know,
so they
right?
can tell us.
Yeah, man, y'all have boring lives. Us, we have boring lives. Okay. Hi, amigas. I hope you both are well. Anyways, I've been hearing and seeing how so many people are regretting voting for the president. Like, how are you now having regrets when you knew what he was wanting to do? And a friend's coworker said that she voted for Trump because the church was telling them to vote for him. This is so upsetting. And another person only voted for him because coworkers would always talk about him. Thoughts on these regrets from people?
I really hope it's a lesson that they learn. Now, do I forgive them? I mean, that's not my job to forgive them for who they voted. They voted consciously. I think in the United States, that's a great thing about living in this country. We have the right to vote. They exercise their vote, and sometimes it doesn't turn out how you want it to be. But when it comes to him, he was very, very... I think he said everything he was gonna do.
But that's also the thing.
Very direct.
I also feel like, well,
even though people took it lightly.
Not only that, but how many times did he also say that he was not associated or knew anything of Project 2025? So he straight up lied, first of all, because I haven't even checked the website to see like how far along the fucking Project 2025 has progressed. But as the last time we checked was at like 34% complete through this fucking 900-page book.
Yeah, or how he said that once he got into office, all the prices were gonna go down for food, and we see the whole opposite. It's just like, you know, it just, I think it's a lesson for you to be like, you know what, you should have done your research.
And I think that's the issue, right? Is a lot of people take his word for it and don't like, and not just him, okay, like any candidate. I feel like a lot of people just kind of like see, especially if you see like certain, if you, whatever, wherever you get your news, right? There's a lot of biased news because you can take one single event and just how you word it will like manipulate it to seem like whether it's for or against, right? Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people have certain biases and stuff. Well, everybody has their biases, but you know, I feel like especially when you have when you see things that are just like what is it? Like reconfirming biases. Yeah. Reconfirming your biases. I feel like a lot of people don't bother to like do the extra step and research what something really is, you know?
They heard what they already believe and
they just went with it. Yeah. Or like also there's the people who because I was actually having this discussion with Val, and he was saying how he's like, how do you feel about the because we were going on this whole thing about like people voting against their own interests. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, okay, well, let me ask you this, like, how do you feel about, for example, like gay people who voted for Trump? And I was like, I do feel like they voted against their own interest. And then he's like, because he's like, and then I was just like, I just, you know, like sometimes I'm trying to like see it from their point of view. And what Val was saying was, it's like, there was people who were asked this, like people who were gay and voted for him were like, okay, like, why did you vote for him? And if he doesn't, like, you know, if they're not really like supportive mm-hmm. of, you know, like gay rights and stuff. And for this person in particular, they were saying that, you know, there are bigger issues at hand. Like to him, he's like, there are bigger issues at hand than who I am allowed to marry or who I'm attracted to. He's like, and I feel like some of these issues like far outweigh, like they're far more important to them. Like, for example, being able, like, so a lot of people voted for him because remember the economy.
Yeah, that was one of the major things why people vote, especially I'll speak about like the Latino community. Mm-hmm. That's one of the main things of why the Latino community voted for him.
Because they were like, oh, he's a businessman. Like, and he kept saying that like he was going to bring prices down on day one. And I truly believe that there are some people who believed him. They really, really believed him wholeheartedly. And, you know, there's other people who like saw it for what it was, but there was people who I think there's just people out there who I'm trying to be a little forgiving for people who are regretting their vote, you know. I'm trying to be forgiving. I just feel like people were down bad, you know. And I feel like there was a lot of people who were desperate, who are like, you know, like, I'm hella broke, like I can't afford this, I'm tired of working 2 jobs, having to fucking basically, or people saying like, oh, I have to fucking basically get a second job to be able to afford my childcare because I have to work and pay bills. So now they need like one whole ass job just to pay for childcare. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like people are down bad and desperate, and they're like looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think some people like were, you know, given false promises and hopes, and people really believed it, you know. And I think in a way, like, I think people were just so, you know, focused on their own survival that they couldn't see past that and see like how, you know, a lot of, you know, his policies were going to hurt people. And I think a lot, like, there was a lot of people who didn't see that. Yeah. And so I think people were just like, dude, I'm down bad, I'm broke, I'm this, I'm that. And I really need just to be able to survive. And that's why they voted for him. And so this man was basically saying that, like, I can't afford, I just was down bad. And for him, it was more important to be able to afford to live than his right to choose who he's attracted to, like, or like for him to be able to choose who he's attracted to, or not choose, but like who he's attracted to, or who he has the right to marry and stuff like that. And I think in the sense, that's why for him, it was like, I will vote against, you know, like he's voting against that interest, but at the same time, he had the hopes of being able to afford life. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, you know, it's kind of like the veil has been lifted and people are realizing like, what the fuck, we were lied to. How many veterans, poor veterans, are realizing like, what the fuck, I feel betrayed. The farmers who, you know, are like, what the hell, like, they're pissed, you know. And all the people that were being laid off, who this, to them, they're like, this is the whole opposite of what you promised us. Like, I voted for you because I was broke, I was down bad, I needed to afford life, and now I can't even afford life times 2. Like, I don't even have my job anymore, you know. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that. So I am being a little bit more forgiving. There are some people that I'm like, this is what you voted for. And I feel like it's like you should have done your due diligence and looking and doing more research and stuff, because the research was all like, it's all there. Like it's on, like in our, like literally on our phones.
It's there's no excuse, honestly. But it's just a thing about that I feel like people did not do enough research and just voted for whatever they saw in media. And unfortunately, you know, there's consequences to your actions. Like I said, it's not a place for me to be like, oh, you know, I think it's just, honestly, at this point, them and their conscience at this point. And I hope it's a lesson learned. Like, you know, I hope for next election, all these people take a little step further and actually do a little bit more research on who
and this
they're
isn't to
put
say
into
like
office.
The right side or the left side,
No,
or like
it's
not even about that, but it's about doing the research
and doing what's right, and maybe thinking, not just taking media like as just your only source, you know, like
or
what
TikTok.
you see on TV. Yeah, exactly. Not seeing just that as your only source. And also like vetting that person, because a lot of people are like, oh, the past it's not important, but honestly it is. You know, it tells you what kind of character that person has been carrying for all these years and who what they represent. So that is
and
also in itself
and it's not only like also like there's certain like sorry guys, my throat is like, what the fuck is going on? I feel like some people take isolated situations, right? Like the one time they fucked up and they like hold it against them, right? Yeah. But also pay attention to their like what then becomes a pattern. Yeah. And like the things that, you know, like you said, it's like their character really. Like I think people also need to focus on that, because I don't know. I feel like sometimes you can just forgive somebody, but also like if they can like, you can forgive them all you want. They can keep saying sorry, but if they keep doing it, like, what does it matter anymore?
Yeah. They don't really feel bad about it. They don't really aren't really.
And honestly, like, first of all, our current president has even admitted in fucking interviews that he has never asked for forgiveness. Yeah, he's never asked for like he was not sorry about shit. Yeah, and that came out of his mouth like in an interview. But I think. Like you said, it's just like, who am I to forgive this person, right? Like, you know, like they're gonna have to live with that. I 100% believe that they're gonna have to live with their vote. But also, I think, damn it, I was going somewhere with it.
Showing a little grace.
Yeah, I'm trying to show a little bit of grace. But I also do want to give props to the people who have come out, because I also think it's courageous.
Openly admitted that they were wrong. Yeah, because not a lot of people.
Yeah, because it's one thing.
Our own president won't even admit he's wrong.
I just feel like I think it's courageous when people like come out and openly admit it. Like, I fucked up. Like, I'm gonna own up to it. Like, now I need to take accountability though, and like I need to do my research on what I can do to fight back. Yeah. Right. And I feel like that right there shows people's character. And like, you know, I love it when people just own up to their shit. Oh, yeah. But then there's the people who just double down, like knowing they fucked up, and will double down on it because they're fucking poor. Their ego and pride are so fragile that they could
keep on going.
Yeah, they could possibly never be wrong. And it's just like, those are the people that I'm like, really, dude, come on.
Yeah. No, same.
But I do want to like commend people for being courageous enough to, especially when social media is so cutthroat. And people, people are very cutthroat on social media. We know that firsthand. But so, yeah, I do also want to commend people who are like, dude, my bad. Like people who really own up to it, and they're like, I'm willing to like take accountability for that, and, you know, do what I need to do to like help make it better. Yeah,
because we're not all perfect either. We do make mistakes, and unfortunately, you know, that mistake was made, and I hope everybody who realizes it now, like, you know, learns from it. And like I said, it's, again, repeating myself, just doing the research.
Yeah, and it also, you know what, I'm not gonna fucking lie, it just also depends on who the fuck it is, because if there's like the one person that was a fucking dick, about a lot of shit and then they fucking realize that they fucked up. I'm like, dude, you fucked around and you found out. Yeah. You know, there's those people that there's some people that I don't feel that bad for. Yeah. But then there are people that I think are genuinely, like, I don't think they're bad people.
No, I don't think they're bad people, but I do feel like all of them are like, fuck around and find out. Like, you voted for what you voted and now you found out.
Yeah.
And obviously for unos me siento un poquito más mal que los otros, especially like, I have like this, like, I worked with the military for so long, you know, mm-hmm. and to know that there was so many veterans mm-hmm. and that voted for him, and he basically betrayed our veterans, and mm-hmm. I do like I feel bad, you know, mm-hmm. it's like they got
screwed over.
Yeah, because how many times did he not be like, he was all about his veterans, military, back the blue and everything. But he
and then turned his back on all of them.
Yeah, exactly. Back the blue where? You literally pardoned all these weird people that harmed our officers when they stormed the Capitol. Mm-hmm. And now firing all these people that work for Veteran Affairs that help our veterans.
Mm-hmm. First of all, I feel like the VA is so underfunded and understaffed. It is so bad, guys, because they are so backlogged and backed up that they have to outsource their medical treatment. Yeah. Like, they don't have enough doctors and medical providers to care for their veterans, that they have to like outsource. Like, they have to create contracts with other companies. And I know this firsthand, okay, because I work with a lot of medical providers, and I have a sister who works in the medical field, and they basically have, like, the VA has to have contracts with these outsourced providers, and so that these, you know, people who need care go get their care. But then there's also certain treatment or medical, certain like medical necessities or whatever that like I guess they can't really outsource. And there's people who are literally just waiting in line for it to be their turn.
Yeah. And it's sad. And now it's even going to be even worse. Mm-hmm. And that makes me like very much like, shit. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like, it's because it's hard. Mm-hmm. But I do commend the people who, you know, are taking accountability and being like, you know what, I fucked around and found out. Mm-hmm. And it sucks that we're all like going through this, but mm-hmm. Ahora lo que pueden hacer is honestly seeing how they could like get back to the community and see how they could make change.
Mm-hmm. Agree. So. Okay, we're not going to make this another political talk.
Sorry, guys.
But somebody asked this. We can go on about this forever.
Yeah, honestly. Y'all should hear 99% of our conversations off camera. Guys, we had a whole like watch party over here for the what is it? The address to Congress.
It was the fucking joint address, not even
the joint address,
not the State of the Union address.
Yeah, it was. We had a watch party over here. We were supposed to film,
and we ended up just watching this fucking 2-hour long
clown show.
Yeah, it was a fucking circus, guys.
But
anyways, we won't keep talking about that. But anyways, ahí los vamos a dejar.
Yeah.
Damn, we've been recording for a while.
A little bit out of hand.
So actually, guys, I did just want to let you guys know that the next episode is going to be pre-recorded because Edith is going to be living her best life, celebrating herself and her birthday.
Y'all know my annual solo trip.
Yep. And so excited for you. I can't wait to see all the pictures. So this next episode will be pre-recorded. So we will be wearing the same outfits. Don't judge.
All right, guys. Pues con eso los dejamos. If you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a 5-star review. Anything less?
You're going to hit the DM.
Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. What should they comment down below? If they made it this far. If y'all made it this far.
I know. Fuck. What should they comment?
What should they comment? I'm thinking.
I don't know.
How about a little brown heart?
A brown heart?
Yeah.
Okay, a
brown heart. I don't know. That just came into my mind right now. A little brown heart.
Comment a brown heart if you made it this far. Pero ahí los vamos a dejar. Que Dios los bendiga.
Besitos.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys.